My name is Olivia and I am 26 years old. I live in a large city where life moves at a relentless pace. My sanctuary, however, is an office. It is a good, steady job. I appreciate the work I do, the people I work with, and the space itself. It is a quiet place, a truly safe place. When I walk through the doors each morning, a sense of calm washes over me. There is no stress here, no fear. I feel prepared, even happy. Before finding this job, my professional life was a series of chaotic environments. Some workplaces were deafeningly loud, others were hopelessly messy. I worked in places that seemed to have no rules at all. People would stroll in late, shout across the room, and engage in endless, pointless chatter. Some did barely any work at all. The bosses were often rude and dismissive. No one seemed to care. I was perpetually exhausted and disheartened. I craved an escape, a place where I could find peace. 2 years ago, I landed this new position. I was apprehensive at first, but on my very first day, something felt profoundly different. The building was immense, the people within it were composed, the floors were spotless, and the lighting was soft and gentle. The air felt fresh and clean. A woman at the front desk greeted me with a warm, genuine smile. She handed me my security badge and said, "Welcome." I smiled back, a warmth spreading through my chest. I took the elevator to the 3rd floor. As the office door slid open, I saw people deeply engaged in their work. No one was loud or disruptive. No one appeared angry or frustrated. They were all focused, exuding an air of calm competence. My new boss came to greet me. His name is Michael. He is not a stern or cold man. He is kind and remarkably fair. "Olivia, we are so glad to have you join us," he said. "Thank you," I replied. He led me to my desk. It was clean and minimalist, equipped with a comfortable chair, a large screen, a small potted plant, and a lamp. As I sat down, I felt ready. I felt secure. I glanced around the room. Everyone was working diligently. Some were typing, others were reading, a few were writing. All were completely absorbed in their tasks. There was no idle gossip, no wasted time. I loved it instantly. At 12:30, it was lunchtime. People rose from their desks and walked to the kitchen. Some brought meals from home, eating salads or sipping soup. I had brought rice and eggs. I found a small table and sat down. A woman said hello. Her name is Chloe. "It's your first day," she stated with a gentle smile. "Yes," I confirmed. "It's a good place," she assured me. "You'll like it here." I replied, "I think so too." We ate our lunch at a relaxed pace before returning to our work. The workday begins at 9 in the morning and ends at 5 in the evening. People are punctual. They do not arrive late, nor do they leave early. There is no frantic rush, but there is also no procrastination. Everyone understands their responsibilities and respects the value of time. There are no arguments, no drama, no palpable stress. When the clock strikes 5, people power down their screens, exchange quiet goodbyes, and head home. I do the same. Every day follows a similar pattern, and I find comfort in this routine. I wake at 7, leave my apartment at 7:45, and take the bus. I listen to soft music during the ride. I arrive at the office around 20 to 9. I settle at my desk and begin my work precisely at 9. I review emails, open my task list, write reports, verify numbers, and send files. I simply do my job. No one micromanages me or hovers over my shoulder. Michael trusts his team. "Do your best," he often says. "That is all I ask." Sometimes I take a short break to drink tea. The kitchen is stocked with green tea and coffee, but I prefer tea. It is warm and soothing. I hold the warm cup and gaze out the window. I see trees, cars, and the expansive sky. The world outside is busy, but in this moment it is quiet and still for me. I breathe in deeply, and I breathe out. I feel a profound sense of peace. When people ask me, "Isn't your job boring?" I always answer, "No." They persist, "But you do the same thing every day." "Yes," I say, "and that is precisely why I love it." I do not crave grand adventures or constant excitement. I have no need to travel extensively or talk all day long. I prefer simple, quiet work. I enjoy completing one task and moving on to the next. We have meetings, but they are efficient and brief. We gather for 10 minutes, formulate a plan, and then return to our desks. No one speaks just to hear their own voice. Our communication is clear and concise. No one ever raises their voice or displays anger. We listen intently and respond thoughtfully. Chloe, who sits near me, works in design. Her desk is always immaculate. She jots down notes on paper and listens to ambient music through her headphones. She is a woman of few words, but when she speaks, her words are always kind. She once told me she has worked here for 6 years. I asked her why she stayed so long. She smiled and said, "Because I sleep well every night." Her answer made me smile, too. David is another member of my team. He is an analyst who works with numbers. He is incredibly fast and quiet. He drinks his coffee black and wears the same style of blue shirt every Monday. One day, my curiosity got the better of me and I asked him why. "It helps me focus," he explained. "I don't waste mental energy choosing clothes." I remarked that it was a smart strategy. "We save time so we can use time more meaningfully," he added. I admired that philosophy. Some offices are battlegrounds of noise and negativity. Some people lie and scheme. But not here. Here we work. We offer each other small smiles. We take our breaks, then we work again. It is simple. It is transparent. On Fridays, the company provides fresh fruit in the kitchen, apples, oranges, bananas. We all gather and enjoy it together. No one is greedy. No one is loud. It is a small gesture, but it feels genuinely nice. Michael joins us for fruit as well. He laughs softly and asks about our week. "Thank you for your good work," he always says. Hearing those words feels wonderful. I usually leave the office around 5:10. I walk to the bus stop and head home. I cook dinner, read a book, and am in bed by 10. My sleep is deep and untroubled. I do not have work-related nightmares. I do not carry worry home with me. I feel free. Some people live for the weekend. I do not. I cherish my weekdays. They provide me with a rhythm, a gentle path, a quiet melody. I do not want more. I do not need more. I have found my peace. I found it in a quiet office, surrounded by clean desks and kind people, in a job that feels perfectly suited to me. I never imagined I could feel this way about work, but I do, and I sincerely hope I can stay here for many, many years. I have been at this office for 2 years now. Time seems to fly, yet each day feels complete and meaningful. Every morning I wake up before my alarm. I go through my morning routine, brushing my teeth, eating breakfast, dressing in simple, comfortable clothes. I check for my bag, check for my keys, and walk to the bus stop with a clear and calm mind. The early morning street is quiet. The air is crisp. Others rush past, but I maintain my steady pace. I always arrive at work on time. I greet the security guard who gives me a familiar nod. I take the elevator to the 3rd floor. When I arrive at my desk, the room is still settling into the day. A few people are already working, some are sipping tea, others are catching up on emails. The atmosphere is productive, not lazy. I open my notebook and review my tasks for the day. Some days are dedicated to analyzing sales figures. Other days, I assist with compiling monthly reports. Sometimes, my task is to create small, informative charts. I appreciate when the work is clear-cut and the goals are straightforward. I have no ambition to lead a team or manage other people. I simply want to do my part and do it well. I want to go home each evening with a quiet mind. On Mondays at 9:30, we have a brief team check-in. Michael stands by a small whiteboard and outlines the week's priorities. He smiles and encourages questions. No one dominates the conversation or voices complaints. After the meeting, we return to our seats, ready to begin the week with a clear sense of direction. It feels like opening a well-drawn map. Once a month, we have a team potluck lunch. We gather in the large lunchroom. Everyone brings a dish to share. I might bring rice and chicken, Chloe would bring her signature soup, and David would contribute a large bowl of fruit. We eat and chat, but never about work. We talk about our pets, books we are reading, or weekend hobbies. We sometimes laugh, but never boisterously. The lights are soft, the chairs are comfortable, and the plates are clean and white. We eat, thank one another for the food, and then return to our duties. The office environment itself is healthy. The ventilation system works well, and the large windows let in plenty of natural light. The walls are painted in calming shades of white and soft gray. My desk is positioned near a window, offering me a view of the sky and the occasional bird perched on a wire. When I take a short break, I look outside, sip my green tea, and nibble on a biscuit. Then I return to my work. This is my rhythm, and it is more than enough. Chloe once mentioned how much she loves the quiet. Me too, I agreed. We do not need constant conversation to feel connected. We work side by side, and some days we barely exchange a word, yet I feel her calming presence. Her peace contributes to my own. David rarely smiles, but his kindness is evident in his actions. If my computer screen freezes, he is there to help without being asked. He says little, fixes the problem efficiently, and walks away. I appreciate that. No drama, just quiet assistance. On Thursdays, we have a designated cleaning hour. We all take 20 minutes to tidy our personal workspaces. We wipe down our screens, organize papers, dispose of any old snacks, and water the office plants. We dust the windowsills. Afterward, we sit back down, and the entire room feels refreshed and renewed. I find that a clean space helps my mind stay clear. Michael sometimes brings in cookies and leaves them in the kitchen without announcement. He does not seek praise, but we all know they are from him. We each take one or two, sharing smiles and quiet thank yous if we see him. He does not lead with grand speeches. He leads with quiet acts of care. That, to me, is the mark of a true leader. I have no desire to change jobs. I do not dream of moving to a different, more exciting city. Some of my old friends have switched jobs 5 times in the years I have been here. They say they are looking for growth. I understand what they mean, but for me, this is growth. Growth is not always loud and disruptive. It can be quiet and steady. I am growing in peace, in consistency, in a soft, reliable routine. I have no wish to break it. One Friday, the power went out. The lights flickered off and our screens went dark. For a moment, the office was silent and still. Then Michael's calm voice cut through the quiet. "Let's all take a break," he said. We gathered in the lunchroom. Sunlight streamed in through the large windows. David opened a window to let in some fresh air. Chloe poured glasses of water for everyone. Someone had a small portable speaker and we played soft music. It was an unusual afternoon, but it was pleasant. We rested, we talked, we shared the emergency cookies from the cabinet. An hour later, the power returned. We all smiled, stood up, and went back to work. That day has stayed with me, not because of the power outage, but because of our collective response. No one panicked. No one complained. We remained calm. It showed me the true character of the people here. They are strong, but in a quiet, resilient way. I want to be like that, too. In the evening, I sometimes reflect on my old jobs. I remember the noise, the anxiety, and the fear. I remember disrespectful colleagues and exhausting hours. Now I feel incredibly fortunate. I feel safe. I feel centered. I have a chair, a desk, and a routine. I am surrounded by kind, respectful people. I do not need anything more. I live in a small apartment just a 10-minute walk from the office. I do not need a car. I carry my lunch in a small blue bag. At night, I water my plants, make tea, read, and sleep soundly. In the morning, I do it all over again. Some might call it a boring life. To me, it is a life filled with peace. In my second year, I received a small raise. It was not a huge amount, but it was meaningful. Michael presented it with a smile. "Good job, Olivia," he said. That was enough for me. He did not give a long speech because he did not need to. I took the letter, said thank you, and returned to my work. Work is not my entire life, but it is a significant part of it. And this part is good. It is clean, simple, and fair. I know some people search for happiness in travel, others in wealth, and some in ambitious dreams. But I found my joy in my chair, in my cup of tea, and in my quiet work. I found it in people who speak with care. That is not a small thing. That is everything. It was winter when I began my third year at the office. The mornings were frosty, and the windows were veiled in soft, white fog. I wore my heavy brown coat and a long scarf. My fingers would be cold on the bus ride, but I still loved my routine. I looked forward to each day. The cold air outside made the warm, welcoming office feel even more like a haven. I would come in, make my tea, and sit by the window for a moment, starting my day with warm hands and a full heart. One day in January, a new employee joined our team. Her name was Sophia. She was 24 and sat 2 desks away from me. On her first day, she was visibly nervous. Her hand trembled slightly as she wrote, and she dropped her pen. It reminded me of how I felt on my own first day. I offered her a small, reassuring smile. Later, I showed her how to access the shared task list and pointed out where the tea was kept. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely a whisper. In time, we became work friends. Sophia asked many questions about emails, reports, and procedures. She was eager to learn, quiet, and kind. Gradually, she found her own rhythm. She began arriving a few minutes early, started drinking green tea, and kept her desk perfectly neat. Her work was clear and thoughtful. One day, she turned to me and said, "I feel so calm here." I replied, "Me too." There were some minor changes in the office that year. We got new ergonomic chairs and a faster printer. The lighting in the lunchroom was upgraded. But the people, the rules, and the atmosphere of peace remained constant. That was what mattered most. Some people might think a quiet job equates to a small life. I disagree. My life does not feel small. It feels full in a different way. I wake up knowing my purpose for the day. I see the same familiar faces and feel a sense of belonging. I drink my tea and feel a warmth spread through me. I look out the window and think, this is enough. At work, we discuss tasks, but we also share in the small moments of life. On rainy days, we talk about cozy soups. On sunny days, we mention pleasant walks. On busy days, we speak less, focusing on our work. There is no pressure to fill the silence. Here, silence is as welcome as conversation. That is a rare gift in today's world. Once, a woman from another department came to our floor. "It's too quiet in here," she remarked with a laugh. I smiled and replied, "That's how we like it." After she left, I looked around. Everyone was engrossed in their work. The soft ticking of the clock and the gentle tapping of keyboards were the only sounds. I felt a quiet sense of pride. One afternoon, David completed a massive project. Michael walked over to his desk and simply said, "Well done." That was it. David smiled, stood up, made himself a cup of tea, and shared a biscuit with Sophia. There was no loud party or grand announcement, just a moment of quiet, sincere respect. That is how we celebrate achievements here. That year, I faced some personal challenges at home. My water heater broke, my rent increased, and my mother was ill for a few weeks. Some days I felt worn down, but my work life remained a constant, stable anchor. When I walked into the office, I could leave my worries at the door. I sat at my desk, and my mind would become quiet and focused again. I believe that is the greatest gift a job can offer, a place to rest your mind. On Friday afternoons, the light slants through the windows in a particularly soft, golden way. I look out at the street below. The trees sway in the wind and cars stop and go in an endless dance. But inside, it is still. I hear the low hum of the computers, the faint beep of a new message, the tiny clink of a mug in the kitchen. It is its own kind of music. It feels like home. One Friday, Chloe announced she was moving to another city for her husband's new job. She was sad to leave, and we were sad to lose her. But we smiled for her. We gifted her a new plant for her future desk. "You made this place better," we told her. "So did you," she replied. The following Monday, her desk was empty. It felt strange for a while, but we carried on. That is the nature of life. Things change, but the rhythm can remain. Sophia now sits at Chloe's old desk. She is more confident now, helping new hires and producing excellent reports. She arrives early and leaves on time. One day, she told me, "This job has changed me for the better." I smiled and said, "Yes, it has a way of doing that." I do not watch the clock all day, waiting for 5 o'clock to arrive. I do not feel trapped. I feel steady. I feel proud of my simple, careful work. Each file, each number, each line of a report, it all has its place. I may never be famous or wealthy, but I am content. After work, I stop by the small grocery store near my apartment. I buy bread, fruit, and eggs, The owner knows me now. "Long day," he will ask. "A good day," I always reply. At night, I cook a simple meal, eat, read, and then sleep well. That is my life. It is not a loud life, but it is one full of peace. Some people are driven to lead. Some want to build great, towering things. I just want to do my work with care. I want to live my life with calm. I want my heart to stay light. And in this place, I can do just that. Every morning when I walk into the office, I feel that same quiet joy. I sit at my desk, open my computer, take a deep breath, and begin again. I was searching for peace, and I found it at work. If this story resonated with you, I hope you will share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you for listening.